Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to use the Google Translation API in Python? You're not alone. Many people find themselves stuck when it comes to integrating APIs, especially when it involves coding. I totally get it. You read through the documentation, but it still feels like a foreign language. It can be frustrating when you just want to translate a few words and nothing seems to work. Let's dive into the specific issue at hand. One user reached out saying they have a valid account with billing details but are struggling to include their API key in Python. They even tried a sample code from Google but ran into errors. Sound familiar? Let's tackle this together. So what's the deal with API keys? They are essential for authenticating your requests to the Google Translation API. Without it, your requests will fail and you'll see those frustrating error messages. Stick around. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how to use your API key, but also how to troubleshoot common issues that might pop up. To begin using the Google Translation API, the user needs to set up their environment by installing the Google Cloud Translation Library. This can be done using the Python Package Manager, pip. Next, the user should ensure they have their API key ready. This key is essential for authenticating requests to the Google Translation API. Now the user needs to include the API key in their Python code. This can be done by setting the environment variable for the API key or by passing it directly in the code. After setting up the API key, the user can now modify their existing code to ensure it works correctly with the API key included. Finally, the user should run their Python script to test the translation functionality. If everything is set up correctly, they should see the translated text output. Fun fact: did you know that the first translation software was developed in the 1950s? It was a simple program that could only translate a few words. Look how far we've come. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by another user involves setting up an environment variable. You need to create a variable called Google Application Credentials that points to a JSON file containing your API key. This setup is detailed in the Google Cloud documentation. Alternatively, you can set the API key directly in your code. This method is also explained in the Google Cloud documentation, allowing you to authenticate without using environment variables. Here's a quick tip: always keep your API key secure and never share it publicly. This will help prevent unauthorized access to your account. And there you have it. You should now be able to use the Google Translation API in Python with your API key. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on coding and APIs.